Hey, this is Natasha Ifoma and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be talking about the last time that I went to LA to work the Grammys with one of my favorite celebrity artists, Nelly. This is definitely not the first time that I have worked with him. I worked with him before many times, and the most highlighted time of working with him was in 2019 when I went on a 19-city US tour. And that's all we're going to be talking about today, so stay tuned. So I'm attempting to give you guys a look at all the options that we had to dress Nelly for a performance and also the red carpet for the Grammys. And really, that wasn't even the half, but we did decide to go with the blue suit for the red carpet and a green sweatsuit for his performance for the 50th anniversary of hip hop. Everything went very well. It was a very stressful day, but everything did go very well. We were able to pull everything off in a short amount of time, and that really is how it is in the styling world. But we didn't come here to talk about everything as far as it goes with celebrity styling, but we did come to talk about the tour that I went on in 2019. It was a 4-week tour and it was 19 cities. So I'm going to take you guys along with me. So I started the tour at Jones Beach Amphitheater. There was about 3 shows before I started the tour, but I was on a trip with my son for his track. So this was my day 1 and my first show. I must say I do have a lot of videos of the empty theaters because I was just in awe that God had given me such an opportunity, and the work that just goes behind the scenes and the production and all of it, just to be doing everything that I loved was amazing to me. Guilford, New Hampshire was the next stop. One of the great things about going on this tour was being able to go to cities that I otherwise would have never, ever visited, and just being able to see the beauty of different states and cities. It was, I just love it. I love to travel anyway, so that was a wonderful thing for me. And then the behind the scenes is just like so much to do, I guess, because we're on tour buses and we're on the buses for a long time, so they give all kinds of entertainment and different things for you to do, which is very cool. One of the highlights that I do remember about New Hampshire was the seafood. The lobster was so fresh. They literally cracked it and extracted it from the shell right in front of you so that you can eat it nice and fresh. It was just a highlight. Y'all already know how I feel about food, so this was definitely a highlight. The food in general for the whole tour was a highlight. There was just always so many options every day, so many really, really healthy options, so that was dope. Speaking of healthy, I did try to get my workout in every hotel that I stayed in, so y'all gonna get a lot of that work in this video too. Next stop was Canada. Specifically, we ended up in Toronto. Actually spent a few days in Toronto, so that was pretty cool because I've never been there before. But Toronto was absolutely beautiful, but yes. So I made my way to the OVO store. I don't believe there's one in the US. So I definitely did some shopping while I was in Toronto. It's definitely a very beautiful city. I did not get much footage. I was not vlogging at the time, so I apologize. Cannabis is legal in Toronto, so of course I stopped there. It was just a cool city. I got my workout on in Toronto. I'm telling you, I was very, very focused. This was a way for me to just stay focused and concentrate and get my job done. Pittsburgh was the next stop. I am definitely going to give you guys some looks so you can see what the outfits were and how it was backstage. This was some golfing that I was doing. Like I said, they always had some kind of entertainment for us, so I tried to have as much fun as possible. This is backstage, the production setup before the show is starting. Again, you have to excuse my footage. I was not vlogging at the time. This was a lot of things that I was just keeping for myself and putting on my Instagram stories. But I am trying to make the best out of it. But again, you see people arriving for the show. So that's backstage. So I actually did work on this tour. This is the playlist, and there were 2 outfit changes for every night. I had to dress 4 dancers along with Nelly and his 2 partners that he performed with. So there was a lot of work that had to be done, but it was all in fun. I really enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed this black reflective outfit. I took tons of pictures with the girls, so we'll get more into that. One more thing I can say is that hearing the same songs and the same set over and over and over every night, you would think you get tired of it, and I really didn't. It's exciting every single night, and then just being with the crew, it was so dope. Buffalo, New York. I mentioned before that we had stopped in Buffalo, New York for a show that was separate from the tour, but that was just a stop before we went to Canada. This was actually the Buffalo, New York stop that we did, that Nelly had a date for that was separate from the tour. So because I was on the bus with Nelly and the crew, not on the bus with the production and the dancers and such, I followed them where they went. So here I was at the Buffalo waterfront performance, and it was pretty cool. Day 6, we were in Mansfield, Massachusetts. This was actually half of the tour. We were going to have a few days off, so they allowed us to go back home. So I got to see my boys. They actually came up to see me, and it was a surprise. So that was great to have the tour broken up into 2. So we had about 3 days off, and then it was time to head back. Cleveland, Ohio was the next show. Everything continued to be really great. It was good to see everyone again and get back to work. And it was actually great because Ohio was lit. Next stop was Detroit. I did get to spend a couple of days in Detroit, and I really enjoyed Detroit. There was a lot of culture. I ended up connecting with my Uber driver, or maybe it was Lyft, and we went out to eat, and then we went to the African World Festival in Detroit, and it was so cool. I really enjoyed it. I bought some things. Definitely a good experience. There were a few of your faves on tour. I had to get a picture with the infamous Flavor Flav. I continued to eat very healthy on tour. They had juice bars, so you can put together your own green juices. I had one every day, and my plate was pretty healthy. I also continued to get my workout on. This was the MGM in Detroit. I really feel like I was in the best shape of my life. I was eating healthy, I was working out, and then every day just carrying the clothes back and forth, washing clothes, delivering clothes. It was just so much exercise. I really need to get back into that space. Next stop was Amphitheater in Chicago. This is Little Jordan. He did a skit with Nelly, talking about the real Nelly, please stand up, and then he does his little dance. He did it every night, and it was really cute. So we are winding down the tour, and Arkansas was the next stop. Here I am washing some clothes and getting ready for tour night, and just explaining some things that go on.
So because I don't want my Instagram to be a highlight reel that shows all the greatness, I decided to come and show some of the hard stuff. There's no washing machine at this venue, which a lot of times do have washing machines, which are great, but there's none. And dancers and performers' clothes need to be cleaned, so they get hand washed. And then I just have to pray that they're dry by showtime. Hope there's somebody out there praying with me.
Austin, Texas was next, and we spent a few days there. Additionally, while I was in Austin, I had to find an artist who could help me with the airbrushing of the clothes. I wanted new shirts for the girls, and I also wanted to freshen the airbrush on their pants. Houston, Texas was next. I never actually mentioned that TLC and Flo Rida were also part of this tour. It was great just experiencing the tour time with them. Everyone in their camps were really nice and nice to work with and nice to be around for a whole month. So that was dope. Stylist was up next. I did some shopping and some eating. Papa Do's Seafood Kitchen was bomb. I also spent some time sewing and getting the clothes together. Sometimes they get rips and tears when there's dancers in them. And also, I just wanted to make sure I record this for proof that I was actually working.
I like to show the behind the scenes of production because I think people come and see a 2-hour show and they don't realize all the work that really goes behind a whole show. This stage literally has to be built every show. So everything, all the speakers, all the lights, the background, the stage in the background, all the audio. The setup for each performance, which is different. Backstage, we have to have people change, and not to mention the venue where there's people who clean and prepare for us to even get here to set up. It's just a lot of work. There's a machine usage, boxes, preparation.
I absolutely had to show y'all this hailstorm that we got caught in the middle of in El Paso, Texas. It was 106 degrees, super, super hot. And then it just started hailing out of nowhere. But do you see the size? We made our way back across the desert to get to LA where the tour would end. We had about 3 shows left. We had a few days in LA, so I made sure that I ate good, did some photo shoots, and just some touring different towns of California. And of course, I got that workout all the way in. And here I just had time to post a little testimony.
Hey, it's been a minute. So I always do this thing where I'm showing an empty stadium. And for me, it has a little bit of a deeper meaning. So it was about 5 years ago when I insinuated to God that I wanted to use my creative mind for my career, and I no longer wanted to be at a job just to be working and getting a paycheck. So God, doing what he does, a few months later allowed me the opportunity to work with Chris Brown, my first wardrobe job, Chris Brown, for Jimmy Fallon, I believe it was. And then right after that, it was a concert. It was, I think the Winterfest, Power 105's Winterfest concert or whatever in the Barclays Center. And so I went out into the empty audience, the empty stadium, and I was just this is it. This is it. I don't know what it is, but the feeling that I had when I was in that empty stadium preparing for thousands of people to come and watch a show, watch a concert, the power, the energy, it was just everything. And I knew in some way, some form of fashion, this was what I wanted to do. This is where I wanted to be. This is what I wanted to be a part of. And so, of course, I thought everything was just going to fall into place. God doing what he does. However, it did not exactly work out that way at all. This past 5 years have been a roller coaster, to say the least. It's been so many ups and downs, and probably more downs than up, but the ups are so up high and it feels so good that the downs are always worth it. Like, this industry is brutal. Like, you're gonna go through so much. You don't know what's happening. You don't know how to handle it. It's a real ugly, cold industry at times. You have people who really use and abuse you, who really teach you, probably more than anything, they teach you how not to be, which is a blessing. So as I'm usually preaching on here, preaching really more to myself than anybody else, and then also anybody else who can receive it, is you have to believe in yourself no matter what. You can't ever give up, and you really can't be attached to the outcome of things, because God is always going to provide so much. I could have never sat down and said a prayer to say, in 2019, in the summer of 2019, I want to be on tour with Nelly. Like, that's just not a specific prayer that I could have prayed. However, this opportunity has been amazing. It's been such a wonderful experience. The way that everything worked out for me was really divine. And, I couldn't be more grateful. It really shows you, like, the grind that you put in, the work that you put in, the bullshit that you go through. Like, it can really be worth it if you push through and you keep going no matter what, no matter who tries to bring you down, no matter who doesn't see your worth, no matter who tries to play you along the way. You just keep fucking pushing. That's what I'm always keep. That's, at the end of the day, that's the word. Keep fucking pushing.
And 19 cities later, we are at our last show. It was so bittersweet. I had come to meet so many people and be fond of them, and just every day doing something different in a different city is really the life that I was born to live. So I know that this experience was meant for me, and I hope that someone found some value in this video. And I would say it is, if you have a dream, then you should go after it, even if you're not sure exactly what it is. Just be open to opportunities and be open to the things that God has in store for you, because you never know what could happen. And when you really love something, it's always going to come back to you. I definitely tried to run away from styling and being a stylist and doing celebrity styling, but it's something that came right back full circle without me even trying. So I hope that this encourages someone. I thank you so much for coming to watch my video, and I hope to see you again soon.